The best games of 2019, so far. These are the must-play games of this year. Although it feels like a much slower year for releases, that doesn't mean our list of best games of 2019 is in any way weak. This month we gained 3 brilliant games. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare and The Outer Worlds take joint runner-up spots, beaten to the Game for the Month gong by our old pal Luigi in Luigi's Mansion 3. At the end of every month, we comb through all our recent reviews to find the 2 games that qualify as must-plays, slowly amassing a list of the best games of 2019. Consider these to be the highlights of the year thus far, and if you're looking for something to play while you wait for the other new games of 2019 and beyond, these standout titles are a sure bet. October Game of the Month, Joe. This spiritual successor to Fallout, New Vegas plays to developer Obsidian's strengths as an unashamedly old-school RPG, reining in on the open-world scope of its contemporaries for a more handcrafted experience marked by faultless world design and a razor-sharp script. Characters are so layered in personality and believable in their behavior that you could almost reach out and touch them, and while combat leaves a lot to be desired, the multitude of avenues through which you can pursue any objective on your spacefaring adventures alleviates most of these forgivable growing pains. The Outer Worlds is thus the perfect solution for wiping out the aftertaste left by last year's Fallout 76, and we can't wait to see what Obsidian cooks up next for this bold new franchise, especially now that it has the full backing of Microsoft behind it as a first-party Xbox studio. Alex Avard. October Game of the Month. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare represents the greatest leap forward for Call of Duty this generation. Infinity Ward ushered us into the era of the PS4 and Xbox One with the divisive Call of Duty Ghosts back in 2013, and it has closed out the cycle with a truly stunning shooter in Modern Warfare. The campaign is a tour of contemporary conflicts, pushing us to explore war in a setting where the boundaries of the battlefield are blurred. While the campaign doesn't always hit its intended target, it's difficult not to walk away from it impressed. The visual and audio presentation is outstanding, the weapons are weighty, and the sense of scale is unparalleled in the genre. Modern Warfare takes those core proficiencies and translates them excellently into the realm of multiplayer action too, with the reduced time to kill and heavier movement speed helping to submerge you in round after round of tense, and tightly contested conflicts. Modern Warfare is back, and it's as impactful as it ever has been before. Josh West. October Game of the Month winner, Luigi's Mansion 3. The cowardly green plumber just can't catch a break, can he? Yes, Luigi has once again gotten caught up in another hauntingly good adventure with ghosts galore. Even though it still has "Mansion" in the title, Luigi's Mansion 3 takes place in the aptly named Last Resort Hotel. An invite to a luxury holiday quickly turns into a waking nightmare for our poor plumber thanks to King Boo, who's trapped Luigi's friends inside picture frames. In order to save Mario, Peach, and the 3 Toads, Luigi sets out to save everyone with the latest version of his trusty vacuum, the Poltergust GOO. Oh, and Polterpup makes a comeback from Dark Moon to add an extra helping of charm to all of the ghost vacuuming goodness. The hotel has 15 floors for you to unlock and explore, and every floor has a different theme that packs Luigi's ghost-filled escapades with so much variety. Filled to the brim with creative level designs, clever puzzles, widely varying boss fights, and Luigi's gooey green doppelganger, Gooigi, Luigi's Mansion 3 brings the series back to life on the Switch with some of the best-looking animations on the console to date. Heather Wald. September Game of the Month runner-up, Borderlands 3. In terms of hard numbers alone, Borderlands 3 is already one of the most successful games of 2019, selling over 5 million copies in just its first 5 days. It's safe to say that people like Gearbox's looter shooter sequel, then, and not without good cause. While its risible humor isn't to everyone's taste, the campaign is best enjoyed on mute. Borderlands 3's glossy gunplay, kaleidoscopic pantheon of planets, and reams of creatively crafted loot mashed together to provide some of the best value for money you'll find in gaming this year. Gearbox has already been embellishing Borderlands 3 with new quality-of-life updates, in-game events, and, yes, dozens of Borderlands 3 shift codes, too, proving good on its promise to support a game that'll keep on giving well into 2020 and beyond. Mayhem has never looked, played, and felt so good. Alex Avard. September Game of the Month, Legend of Zelda. Nintendo's decision to remaster The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening is quite the delight. This Game Boy original, or more specifically, the 1998 Game Boy Color version, Link's Awakening DX, peak, old-school Zelda, with puzzles, dungeons and colorful characters galore, and this Switch reimagining takes all that and makes it 10x more adorable. The art style takes this well-loved adventures and turns it into a tiny toy town, which totally plays up to its quirky story. Because of that, it manages to feel new, but still maintains the essence of its amazing source material. Classic Zelda at its best and most gorgeous, it's one not to be missed. Sam Loveridge. August Game of the Month, runner-up. Developer Sam Barlow has a gift at creating games that just keep you tumbling down the rabbit hole, and Telling Lies is no different. Rifling through a hard drive-through of illicitly obtained video files, you will work out the story of Barlow's latest by watching one-sided conversations, where you'll have to figure out who each person is talking to, and what about by searching for keywords that'll crop up across multiple files. The story spans several years, involves multiple characters and will regularly surprise you. It's rewardingly Moorish, will stay with you for years to come, and manages to make you as much a part of the voyeuristic, privacy-invading problem that the story dances around. It's a powerful narrative that everyone needs to experience. Sam Loveridge. August Game of the Month. Control takes everything you know and love about a Remedy game and makes it better, stranger and downright more brilliant. Making you feel like you've been dropped straight into the middle of a TV show, Control's story is about making you feel lost, confused and too intrigued not to see what's around the corner of the oldest house, which is possibly the best video game setting ever created. It's a twisting, turning beast that moves of its own accord, and only allows you to go where it wants you to. It doesn't help that it's been taken over by the Hiss, which turn its workers into glowing, floating adversaries. But, armed with powers you'll absorb from objects of power, you'll quickly realize that this is a game about taking back control. The perfect blend of narrative and gameplay, this is Remedy at its best, and one of the games of the generation. Sam Loveridge. July Game of the Month, runner-up, Dragon Quest Builder. Forget saving the world from Nazis or scoring the perfect goal, you haven't known true gaming happiness until you've built an ideally situated scenic shower room. Dragon Quest Builders 2 uses the foundations of the original, a mix of Zelda-esque exploration, monster battling and Minecraft-style construction, and expands it, giving you a much bigger and more varied world to leave your mark upon. The story guides you to build bigger and better projects, like castles and solid gold cocktail bars, but still gives you room to create your own weird and wonderful towns. Toilet building has never felt so magical. Rachel Weber. July Game of the Month, Fire Emblem, Three Houses. Fire Emblem, Three Houses takes the human tales of loss and redemption that are at the heart of the series and puts it center stage, prioritizing stories over combat with a persona-like relationship simulator that tasks you with learning the dislikes, likes, histories, and ambitions in order to build an army you care about. Of course, the tight, challenging, and beautifully designed grid-based combat is still there, and best in class, but it's the stories that you'll find as you explore the Three Houses, and meet its students that will stay with you. This is a meaningful new direction for the franchise. Sam Loveridge, reviewed by Aaron Garst. June Game of the Month, runner-up. Super Mario Maker 2 is an almost perfect package, one that puts equal emphasis on all elements of its offering: discovery, creation, story mode and outright brilliant gameplay. Like its predecessor, the majority of the appeal lies in the creation tools, which let you design and make your very own Super Mario levels that can be played by the masses. But there's a story mode here too, which bolsters its offering to include some 100 levels of professionally made fun. It basically takes everything that made the original game great, but takes into consideration all the user feedback and must-have features to make this a must-buy. It really is a brilliant title that blends elements of play, creation and discovery for a game that never stops delivering something new. Sam Loveridge. June Game of the Month, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. For years now, Mario Kart has been essentially the only top-tier kart racer, which meant Nintendo was where you had to play for some hectic, noob-friendly, karting action. If you're old enough to have had a PS1 however, then chances are you'll remember Crash Team Racing, so if you do, we've got good news, Crash is back with a brand new track. Well, technically it's lots of old tracks that just look a lot nicer. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is a remake of both the original game and the PS2 Nitro Kart sequel, and Crash has reclaimed the crown once more because there's a much higher skill ceiling than Mario Kart, the mechanics are deeper, and there's some semblance of a plot too. Plus it's got online multiplayer and a bunch of new characters and outfits. What's not to love? 4. James. May Game of the Month runner-up, A Plague Tale. A Plague Tale, innocence might not set your world on fire, but it damn sure will make you seriously think about your relationship with your siblings. Telling the tale of the teenage Amicia and her toddler brother Hugo as they flee from the Inquisition and man-eating rats, it's gritty as hell and doesn't pull many punches, with one-hit deaths that really makes you feel like Amicia is being put through the ringer as there's not much room for error. Although you don't really get the quiet moments that the game really needs to make Hugo and Amicia stand out as siblings, it's a great chill Sunday evening game to play thanks to its linear structure and relatively easy puzzle-based gameplay. Zoe Delahanty Light May Game of the Month winner, Blood and Truth offers all the thrills of life in London's gangster underworld, with none of the increased life insurance premiums. The PSVR shooter makes the most of its immersive medium, from shootouts taking place in a DJ booth, complete with lasers and pyrotechnics, to small but immersive details like reaching to your chest for ammo before slotting it into your weapon. The special attention that developer Psy London Studio has put into motion capture and voice artists stops the cutscenes sliding to the bottom of the uncanny valley, and there are nice little breaks between all the firefights, like picking locks, climbing towers, or wrecking an art exhibit to stop it all just feeling like a shooting gallery on steroids. Rachel Weber April Game of the Month runner-up, Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 11 has everything you'd expect from the series, polished to perfection, fast-paced 2D fighting, a surprisingly engaging story mode, plenty of unlocks, and fatalities that can make even the most desensitized gorehound wince. The cast is a great mix of old favorite fighters like the return of Kabal and Scarlet, and some intriguing newcomers in the time-manipulating Jaraz, elemental elder god Cetrion, and an avaricious fiend known as the Collector. Getting to see past and present MK timelines mashed together in the story mode is a treat, and the comprehensive tutorial does a great job of getting fledgling fighters up to speed on some high-level terminology and strategy. You can spend ages duking it out and endeavoring to unlock all kinds of gear in Mortal Kombat 11. Just be ready for a major grind if you hope to one day have every costume and cosmetic item. Lucas Sullivan April Game of the Month winner, My Time at Porsche. My Time at Porsche is one of those games that makes grueling manual labor, woodcutting, mining, carpentry, farming, feel like a vacation from all your IRL responsibilities. You inherit a home and workshop and start from scratch, building a business as you make things for your neighbors and improve your little homestead. There's a whole bunch of lore about religion versus technology and an inexplicable number of cutesy monsters, but the real satisfaction comes from putting together increasingly elaborate inventions, raising livestock, and winning over the people of the town. If you reached your Stardew Valley peak and need some new challenges, this is the perfect way to kill time without resorting to buying your own tool bench and pet llama. Rachel Weber March Game of the Month runner-up, Devil May Cry 5. Sure, the story is mostly going to be hot nonsense for those unfamiliar with the series, as it references and pays off on a surprising amount of Devil May Cry lore, though enough is unique to this adventure and explained to the point where it makes a certain amount of thrilling sense. Even so, this latest installment of emo violence is a wild, exhilarating ride from start to finish, with bright sparks, spurts of blood, and raging fires. Devil May Cry 5 is an absolutely stunning return to form that builds on improvements Ninja Theory's spin-off in reimagining DMC. Oscar Taylor Kent March Game of the Month winner, The Division 2. On the surface, The Division 2 is more of what came before. It's a solid third-person shooter, focused around co-op shootouts with 3 different factions and later, a 4th, and developing skills, abilities, and a loadout that complements your playstyle. Keep playing though, and you realize that Ubisoft has absolutely nailed this sequel, with a gameplay loop that keeps on giving, and an endgame that will keep you playing for months, or years, to come. Sam Loveridge. February Game of the Month runner-up, Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus is the best entry in the criminally underrated Metro series. It's far more open-ended than the first 2 games, but it's also more focused than sprawling sandbox games like Fallout 4 and Far Cry New Dawn. It gives you just enough freedom and space that you can discover things on your own and chart a personal course, but it's not so massive that you ever lose track of what you're doing. Missions and areas get more linear as you progress, and it quickly becomes clear that nothing was sacrificed in exchange for the game's openness. It's amazing how well the structured missions hold up considering how much work must have went into the open worlds. The final area is especially brilliant, not only for how it brings the game back to the series' tunnel-crawling roots, but also how it caps off Exodus' powerfully human story, which still occupies my thoughts weeks later. Austin Wood February Game of the Month winner, Apex Legends. Not long ago, nobody had even heard of Apex Legends, but now it's going toe-to-toe with Fortnite in the Battle Royale market. The Titanfall community is understandably disappointed that Titanfall 3 is much further away than expected, if it's even coming at all, but the game we've received instead is the most enjoyable Battle Royale experience ever seen. An array of characters enable unique playstyles unlike anything else in the genre, and with an upcoming Battle Pass and expected challenges, we can see ourselves playing Apex Legends for years to come. Ford James January Game of the Month runner-up, Kingdom Hearts 3. Whether you've been waiting almost a decade for a new entry to the series, or you've never played one before, Kingdom Hearts 3 improves upon the previous games in every aspect. Sure, the story is complex and the amount of characters feels like a follow-up to Too Many Cooks, but there's nothing better than teaming up with Goofy, Donald Duck, and the vast array of beloved Disney characters that inhabit every world. When you're done with battling Heartless, you can hop in the gummy ship and search for constellations in space, or collect ingredients to use with Remy from Ratatouille in his little bistro. Every world has been crafted with that tender loving care we were all expecting, which makes Kingdom Hearts 3 easily the best game in the franchise. Let's hope it's not another decade until Kingdom Hearts 4.